Hello everyone. I'm walking by the Thames, which runs through Port Meadow in Oxford, just down the road from where I live. And today is March the 20th, which since 2012 has been designated by the United Nations an International Day of Happiness, in honor of the recognition that peace and happiness are the birthright of all beings. So I thought it appropriate to make a video about happiness today, although I have to confess that I hesitated before doing so. In fact, I'm recording this video about a week before the 20th, when the world finds itself in a perilous situation. And I paused, wondering whether it was appropriate to make a short video about peace and happiness when so many people are experiencing such distress and suffering. But I reasoned that it was perhaps even more necessary than ever to speak about our innate peace and happiness. Why is it suggested that peace and happiness are the birthright of all beings? Simply by virtue of the fact that peace and happiness are the very nature of our being, and are as such available to everyone. Now, you might reasonably object on the grounds that if peace and happiness are the very nature of our being, then why do we not feel at peace and happy all the time? And I would suggest that it is simply because our being, or our essential self, whilst always present, is not always known as it essentially is. Why do we not know our being as it essentially is? It is because for most of us, most of the time, our being is so thoroughly mixed with the content of our experience. Thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, perceptions, activities, relationships, and so on, that whilst we all know our being all the time, we do not know our being clearly, as it essentially is. Our being has become coloured or qualified by the content of experience. And thus, whilst everyone knows their self, their being, not everyone knows their self clearly, as it essentially is. And it is this lack of clear self-knowledge that is responsible for the veiling of the peace and quiet joy that are the very nature of ourself or our being. And this is why self-knowledge stands at the heart of all the great religious and spiritual traditions. How do we recognize the essential nature of our being? All that is necessary is to let go of everything that is not essential to us. Our thoughts, memories, images, feelings, sensations, perceptions, and so on. All of these appear and disappear in our experience. They are added to us, so to speak. They arise, they exist briefly, and then they vanish. And anything that arises and then vanishes cannot be essential to us. It is not necessary to turn away from these elements of our experience. It is not necessary to get rid of them. It is simply necessary to let go of them. And as we let go of everything that is superfluous to us, that which we essentially are becomes increasingly evident, until at some point there is this simple recognition that what we essentially are is simply the fact of being, the fact of being aware. In other words, as we cease to focus our awareness on the content of experience, the awareness of being emerges from the background of experience. Our being is, of course, always present behind and in the midst of all experience. But for most of us it is veiled or obscured by our fascination with the content of experience. So this relaxing of the focus of our attention from the content of experience allows our being to emerge from the background of experience. And our being, divested of all the qualities that it borrows, so to speak, from the content of experience, divested, for instance, of the agitation that characterizes our thoughts, from the sense of lack that characterizes our feelings. Our being, divested of these qualities, is without any agitation or lack in itself. It is silent, transparent, empty, at peace, whole, fulfilled. And these qualities, if we can call them qualities, are the qualities that we refer to as human beings as happiness, the absence of lack, a sense of ease, feeling of peace. So this peace is the very nature of our being. It is available at all times and under all circumstances. Hello. It is ironic. It is in fact, it is a moment of synchronicity that on this day, March the 20th, 2 years ago, I started writing a book. You Are the Happiness You Seek. And it was the first day of lockdown, March the 20th, 2020, and I was about to hold my first online meditation weekend. And just before the retreat started, I checked my emails, and a friend had written to me to let me know that today was World Happiness Day. And I remember thinking then how poignant and ironic it was to be holding my first online retreat about the nature of happiness at a time when so many people were experiencing such distress and trauma and suffering. And now, 2 years later, we find ourselves on the brink, or not on the brink, already engaged in a situation that has and will bring suffering to so many millions of people. So it is my heartfelt wish that each of us discover the peace and quiet joy that are the nature of our being, and that we share it in one way or another with everyone with whom we come in contact. The French writer Albert Camus once said, "In the depths of winter, I finally realized that there is within me an eternal summer." In the depths of sorrow, in the depths of our darkness or despair, there is this recognition that within us lies this eternal summer, this eternal peace. So I wish everyone this simple discovery of the nature of our being. And may we all share it in our own unique way with everyone with whom we come in contact. God bless. Bye.